I was definitely a vampire in a past life, because after all, vampires have more fun.
I don't mind people perceiving me as a bad person or an evil person.
I like pretending I'm a vampire.
I was a laboratory technician in a blood transfusion department in a district general hospital.
Braving the daylight, vampires from all over the world descended upon the Camden Palace in London to attend the largest event of its kind ever held. Members of the many national and international vampire societies rubbed shoulders with unsuspecting mortals to pay homage in fine style to one of the most adored and reviled creatures of all time.
I think vampires have chosen to turn their backs on like shell suit society. They don't want to have anything to do with it, and they say, sod this for a game of laughs. I'm going to find food for myself on my own.
The reason I do the events is because, I want to be seen as king of the vampires. I don't think that the other vampires necessarily accept me as their king, basically because everybody who's interested in the scene is very much an individual. They don't need a king, but if there was a king, I would be the one.
Darkest greetings, my blood brothers and blood sisters. I'm sorry you had a little wait, but at last it is here. For Louis, that is I, welcome you to Vampyria 2.
Emily Buffont, star of the cult film Vampyria, Eileen Daly, star of new British vampire film Razorblade Smile, and Theresa May, one of the UK's top glamour models, helped to sell out the show as they featured heavily in the publicity for the event. Their presence on stage served as an unforgettable reminder that the days of the wilting vampire victim are well and truly gone.
Really into the way vampires look. It's seductive, it's sexy, it's very mysterious. It's sort of like, it's quite a powerful image as well, especially for women, which is very important to me because I think the whole vampire scene plays into it is the fact that women have a stronger role. When I had blonde hair, I used to get a lot of attention from men. I didn't like it. But looking this way, I can walk down the street now and men just won't say anything because as far as they know, I could turn around and clock them one, which I probably would.
You don't have to be a powerful woman to be a vampire, but I'm sure it's jolly good fun.
Women don't realise their power nowadays, that I think they're beginning to.
For me, the vampire is actually quite an important thing. When I was little, vampires were very strong, very powerful creatures. And I thought, well, that's great, let's get them on my side. And I saw vampires as protectors, saviours, who would look after me in the dark because they were a lot stronger and a lot more frightening than anything else in the dark. So I was safe in the shadow of their cloaks, as it were.
I think I inspire other women to become powerful or to find the way to use their powers. I think women now are learning, and I emphasise learning to use their powers, which have been lost for centuries.
I'm not like everybody else. I know that inside, and this is my way of telling people outside, if you don't know me, just back off, because, you know, it's to confront me would be a very bad thing.
My interpretation of a vampire is someone or something that lives off energy which it takes from someone else. And I think most people do feed off other people's energy, whether they want to class themselves as being a vampire or not. So in a way, I think we're all vampires to a certain extent.
I'm not a vampire. I don't actually believe that they exist, but I know quite a few people think they are vampires, and there's probably a lot of them here today.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Sir Neil Pryor. I was embraced on the Crusades in Lithuania in the year 1344. I am old, as our kind is reckoned. Yes, I am very close to Cain, the vampire, the first murderer, created as immortal by God for his punishment. In connection with this event, I happen to be an organiser of one of the vampire organisations, the London Vampire Group, and that is our connection with this event, in that we're one of the supporting organisations, and we actually run a whole series of different vampire activities.
I've met a lot of people from the Vampire Group, and they seem to gain a lot of strength from each other.
We have a magazine called The Chronicles. We're interested in people's opinions about vampires, and we encourage people to have their own views about what the world is all about and what vampires are about.
Are vampires real? What is reality? What is truth? For me, they're very real inside. They're real in my heart. In terms of, like, are there real creatures out there going around and biting people and turning them into other creatures? I don't necessarily think so. But are there humans who are sort of very attached to vampires? Yes.
Blood to a kindred can mean many things. For some, it causes an unquenchable hunger in them which can never be sated or satisfied. But for myself, it is merely something that powers as my unearthly disciplines. By using the blood that I have taken from a mortal vessel, I could change form to a wolf, a bat or mist if I so choose. I can heal all but the most grievous wounds with the expenditure of blood. But of course, that's subject to whether you believe in vampires or not.
In almost all cultures of the world, we can find a definition for the vampire. However, vampirologists and writers believe that ancient Egypt was the birthplace of the vampire.
The blood ritual was something that I really wanted to do because of the vampire link with the blood and ancient Egypt.
The doors of the sky are opened for me. The doors of the earth are opened for me. The door bolts of Geb are opened.
There was elements from the ritual which were of the opening of the mouth ceremony, which is something that was performed in ancient Egypt for, well, hundreds of years.
His hand on me and thrust his hand onto me on earth. The mouth of the pelican is opened for me. The mouth of the pelican is thrown open for me. The mouth of the pelican is given to me, and I go out into the day to the place where I desire to be.
The opening of the mouth ceremony was so that it would allow the soul of the dead to pass forward into the afterlife.
May I have power in my arms. May I have power in my legs. May I have power in my mouth. May I have power in all my members. May I have power over invocation offerings. May I have power over water. May I have power over air. May I have power over the waters.
I do feel very strongly that I've lived in the past for centuries. I do believe in reincarnation, so I don't feel as if I'm actually from this century. I do feel I'm from another time and place.
Count Alexander, who comes from a long line of Hungarian aristocrats, and his good friend Olivia Barnard Firth are prominent figures on the vampire scene. In their opulent outfits, they present themselves with poise and decorum and are considered by many vampires as their royal family.
People ask me and they talk to me as if I don't know what reality is. And I say to them, I know all about reality, that's why I choose fantasy.
My sexuality is about sort of SM dominance, and for me a lot of that is tied in with sort of the vampire thing.
There's always been links between, you know, the vampire and the fetish scene. Of course, the fetish scene has always been regarded as being very underground, as is the vampire.
Take a little walk to the edge of town and go across the track.
The up-and-coming London-based House of Harlot were chosen to put on this fetish show, as their owner, Robin Archer, is well known for his unusual designs and interest in the vampire. Their creations made specifically for the event make haunting additions to their current output of sculptured rubber evening wear, uniforms, headpieces, and body bags.
I go to the London gay leather clubs, which obviously is the S&M scene and the S&M look. Although I'm not really into the S&M scene myself, I like the fashion of it as well, just dressing the way I am.
If I'm encouraging people to seek out their individuality and to try and achieve it, then that's a success, that's a good thing. So we have people that are vampires, we have people that are into the fetish scene, we have people that are just into horror, you know, we have people that just like dressing up or role-playing. Yeah, I think that's a good thing, that's what we're about, as vampires.
involved in fetishism, yes. I know a lot of people that run the London fetish clubs, and obviously I have a vast wardrobe of fetish gear, outfits and stuff. For me, it's the erotic visual image, and not the sexual part of it, because it's a private thing and not something to be displayed to everybody else. If someone's going to a fetish club, they don't just sling on a dress and just go out. They really put a lot of effort into the whole range of images that they're going to present to everybody else.
Many people, I'm sure, who spent late nights creeping downstairs after Mum and Dad had gone to bed, and this is probably where I started to develop a delight in vampires. I'd like creep into the sitting room after they'd turned all the lights out and turn the television back on, because I knew there was a Christopher Lee film on which they'd forbidden me to watch.
When the lightning flashes, you can see Karnstein Castle. Frida! What I want, more than anything else, to meet Count Karnstein.
The Collinson twins of evil.
Hammer Films have had a huge influence on the worldwide enthusiasm for the vampire. On the day of Vampyria, honoured guests Mary and Madeline Collinson, who starred in the famous 1971 horror The Twins of Evil, were reunited with their co-star of the film.
Now, let's just ask Madeleine what she was wishing for in that clip.
I wish I could meet Count Karnstein.
Well, Madeleine and Mary, we're delighted to tell you that after 27 years without seeing him, we have him here for you today. Damien Thomas, also known as Count Karnstein.
They were really surprised and happy to have been reunited after all these years. So it was kind of, that added certainly something to the event, which I think a lot of people actually felt a part of, that they could actually feel that, you know, unification on the stage.
Count Karnstein and the Twins of Evil.
It's quite a nice atmosphere to be in because you feel quite safe. There are not too many vampire hunters here tonight.
My name is Major Lewis of the SVS. That's the Special Vampire Service. Who stakes wins. And I'm here representing Her Majesty's government to wipe out this vampire vermin.
It was quite weird to actually see somebody turn up as a vampire hunter, particularly when there was probably 1,699 vampires there, and he was rather outnumbered.
I'm not well paid, but I do it for the love of the job. I guess I like the sight of blood, especially when it's vampires.
For incubus succubus comes from the pair of sexual demons, the male incubus and the female succubus, which in a similar way to the vampire visit their victims at night, draining their energy with incessant carnal activities.
One of the main reasons for coming was to see Incubus Succubus, because I'm a really big fan of theirs, and they were really good tonight, and it was good to hear some stuff from their new album as well.
Triggered me being a vampire, nothing triggered it. I would say it just occurred.
My work colleagues, I've told them that I was coming here today,
and they think I'm a little bit strange because I like macabre things. But I don't think they've come in with drawers full of garlic just yet.
Literally, some of the vampires here are very beautiful. But underneath, you know, there's pure evil lurking. I mean, you can dress it up as much as you like, but it's still sort of there, and it still needs to be wiped out.
Razorblade Smile is the first British vampire film for many years. On the day, the Vampire Society was given the chance to honour the film and its actors with a trailer screening and informal award ceremony.
The award for Best Female Vampire in a Film goes to the star of the film, Eileen Daly.
To die of pleasure. It's a small budget, little sweet vampire movie, and I hope you all go and see it and you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you very much. Thank you. There was nothing really that shocked me in the film at all. There was nothing shocking. It was just a nice piece of comedy, really. It was everything that I like. I love comedy, I love horror, I like lots of blood. Lilith was such a strong character. She would take no shit.
Cradle of Filth were the day's big attraction, as they are the most popular vampiric band around. They are slowly emerging from their underground scene as society's youth once again craves music from the dark side.
I've never actually drunk blood myself, no, but the idea doesn't repulse me, you know, maybe one day if I found the right person or a partner, you know, I would do it.
I do know people that drink blood, but they're very private people. You know, they wouldn't assault people. Yeah? It's all done by private consent, and for that reason it falls into the fetish camp.
Unless it's part of a rare state, there's no need to actually drink blood.
You only go as far as to drink stage blood.
Yeah, I do bite people, yeah, on the neck. Obviously, yeah. It's a rule of washing and stone.
I think I might catch something rather nasty if I went around drinking blood.
It's not actually possible for human beings to get proper nutrition from drinking blood. It makes you sick, basically.
Do you like vampires? Do you like vampires? Then you can both fuck off. This is summer dying!
No, I haven't drunk blood, but I used to work with it all the time in the blood transfusion department in a district general hospital. It's extremely bad for you, all kinds of unpleasant viruses that can be caught. There's nothing to be gained from drinking blood.
One night coming home, I took a walk on the dark side, and all I can say is be careful what you wish for. Look how I turned out.